presentation. Okay. Okay, we're going to start. Okay, hello to everybody. We're going to talk about the new material, the new Aidite Ezneer for veneers. I'm going to show you some cases on how to make the design, to nesting in the milling machine, to how to make the makeup, and some little tricks to. I'm going to explain some little tricks. Okay, I'm going to introduce a little bit myself. Okay, what happened here? Okay, I'm going to introduce a little bit myself. I work. I have my own laboratory in Madrid, in Spain. The name of the laboratory is Digital Mate. Is obviously is dedicated to the digital workflow, and for me, the new material, I need the veneer is very simple to work with it, because it's the same protocol of like other zirconiums at the 3D Pro or something like that. I use the same design programs and the same milling machine. Everything is the same. Like work with 3D Pro, but I use in different cases. I'm going to show you now. Okay, this is my lab. It's a big lab here in Madrid. We work here. It's big lab for Spain, not maybe for compared with China. We have 27 workers, and we are specialized in implants and digital implants, aesthetic, and digital workflow. Okay, we're going to talk about the biomic, of course, because we're going to make the makeup with the makeup cover of the veneer zirconium, the Ezneer with biomic, at the same way like 3D Pro or HD, and we start. Oh, sorry. We start with the first step. For me, the first step is work with the face of the patient. In the past, we need to make one WhatsApp, proof in the mouth of the patient, see what happened, if something is long or whatever, a lot of things to see, the smile line, the middle line, a lot of things. And if something is wrong, we're going to repeat. Now with the new software of design, the smart design, we can control at the beginning how to do with our WhatsApps, because we can see the WhatsApp in the mouth, directly in the mouth of the patient, and after that we can print the model and show to the patient and control all the aesthetic parameters that we need. We can draw all the lines to design the veneers, and is more predictable than in the past, and the hand WhatsApp. No? The digital WhatsApp is for me is one of the biggest changes in the few last years. The possibility of work with the face of the patient. Okay, we can design. We can see the line, the eyes line to control all the aesthetic parameters. We can print or show to the patient that design before the printing model. And now we are working with the face scan. The face scan for me is the next step. First, we work with the 2D photos. Now we start to work with the 3D information of the face of the patient, the head of the patient. We can introduce the articulator. We can see the lateral views. We can see a lot of things here. But in my opinion, it's not exactly like 2D photos. Not yet. Maybe in the future, we're going to have a 3D scans where we really to reproduce it really exactly like in reality, all the parameters, the face parameters of the patient. We can introduce the scanning models with a 3D scan of the face, 2D photos, of course, and design the veneers. In that case, we have a very simple design, and after that, we're going to print a model. That design we can, normally I show to the patient, and after the show I send like maybe by I don't know, by email or something like that. I'm going to send the design. The patient and the dentist can see they can see the design, and after that I'm going to print the model. I print a model and make a silicone index, commonly transparent silicone index, to make the mock-up in the mouth of the patient. Sorry. Here. Those are green model, plastic ones. And after the mock-up, we're going directly to the final restoration, like that veneers that I show you in that case. Commonly, we make some changes or change lines of shape of the teeth, and commonly we need to make one or two trying models, two trying mock-ups before the final result. Sometimes it's the first one that we try, but commonly we make one or two proofs, and after the okay of the clinic, we're going to make the final result. In that case, 3 veneers. Okay. This is the final result in the mouth of the patient. Okay, the main thing we need to understand is how to choose the zirconium. It depends of the color of the dye, of course. If we have a very white dye, or if we have a very dark dye, is not, we can't use the same disc of the zirconia of the veneer. Here we have one explanation that is very clear with that, because we make three parts. The first one is the white area, the second one is the natural color, and the third one is the dark area. How to choose the zirconium is very simple. It's very simple. If we are moving in the white area, we must think in the thickness of the restoration. It's not the same work with 0.4 or 0.6 or point whatever we're going to use. Maybe I make some restorations in 0.3. I don't recommend you, because it's very difficult to control the texture of and manipulate that with the milling machine. It's very difficult to control the texture and manipulate the very thin layers of zirconium in green stage. I recommend 0.5 or plus, maybe 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. It depends on the case, of course. But the color, the final result is very. For the final result is very important. which thickness we're going to do. It's not the same. Use 0.5 or 0.4 or 0.6. You can see in the first square in the white area. It's not the same. Work with 0.4 or 0.6. It depends of the color of the dye. If I have a dark dye like A3, is not the same like working with a bleach. The second one is natural area. For me, is I move commonly I move in that square in the natural area. I prefer work like this, not in the white area or work with bleach color. For me, is not natural, no. And the last one is the dark area to cover very dark dyes or metal dyes or A4 or something like that. No? You can see here, if we have one dye in A3 and we need to cover to make A2, we need a low value in 0.5 or 0.6. And if I need to, in the same dye, make more whitish restoration, I'm going to work with high value, of course, like this. This is a very simple way to choose the color of the disc that I need to milling. But we need the information of the color of the dye. If we don't have the color of the dye, it's impossible to choose which disc we're going to use. It's impossible because it's not predictable which color we're going to obtain at the in the final result. We need to control the thickness of the restoration and the color of the dye. It's very simple. The color of the dye and the thickness of the restoration. That's all to obtain the final result. In that case, I have A3 and I need to obtain A1 in the final result. I need to work with high value disc in 0.5, in 0.4 or 0.6. So, of course, in 0.5. Okay. Here, I can show you. It's not the same dye. Oh, sorry, I can see. Okay. Sorry. It's not the same work with dye with an A2 or metallic dye in the left side. We have an A3 dye and several dark dye like tetracycline or I don't know now. Because if we make in that case one copying in A2 and put in the over the dye, we can see what happened. We can see a little bit the dye inside, translucent. But if we put over the dye 3.5, we can see it's going to be a little bit darker, a little bit. Of course, if we put in a very dark dye, we're going to obtain a very dark copying. This is the same for a veneer. It's the same, the same result. If I put in a thin layer over dark dye, we're going to obtain a shadow of the dye, translucent the structure, you know. And if I cover a metallic dye, is very simple. Is very similar like a silver dark because the metal blocks the light, and I obtain a very gray, a very dark restoration, final restoration. That's the reason that we need to think in the thickness and the color of the restoration. Okay, it's very simple. Only two things we think in the color of the dye and the thickness of the restoration. Here is the same photo, but with frontal light. The other one is with backlight. Here is more difficult to see the difference, but I can try to show you. Here's the A2 over the A2 dye. Here over 3.5 dyes, a little bit darker, a little bit. It's difficult to see, but we have some difference. Here is over several dark dye is a little bit more gray and dark, and here a little bit more gray and dark, because the light now is frontal, it's not a backlight, and you can see the difference. It's very, very important how to choose the right color of the final restoration. Okay. Commonly, the light in the mouth, it comes to frontal. We have a frontal light, but sometimes we can lateral light. For that reason, it's very important how to control the color of the restoration. Okay, because we need to have some translucency when the light is going across the teeth in the lateral thumb, in the lateral part. Okay. Okay, I'm going to show you after that. Sorry. I'm going to show you after. Okay, here. We need to control the temperature of the furnace, because sometimes it's very difficult to control the texture of the surface of the shape in a very thin milling veneer. In a green stage is very fragile, very fragile, and sometimes I need to use a 3D glaze of biomic 3D glaze to make some texture or change a little bit the shape, because I don't like to grading to make the texture by hand, because sometimes you can crack the veneer. Okay. In my opinion, I'm going to show you here. Sorry, I'm going back a little bit. Okay.
Hi, Santiago.
See?
Can
Yes.
you turn off the colors? We can't see you complete your presentation. The colors on your screen.
The colors?
Yes, colors.
But what happened to the colors? I don't understand. Sorry.
I can't see you.
You have something showing on the screen. It's like a color editor.
It's a pencil case.
Yes.
Ah.
Right side of your screen is a pencil. Teresa Silvestre.
How to clean that? Okay.
I think you can click on it. There's three circles on the top. You can maybe minimize it or something.
I try to do, but nothing about how to clean. Oh. I don't know what happened. No, nothing in the three.
Nothing on your presentation.
The blue line, no? The blue line. You are talking about that. I don't know what happened with that.
Perhaps you can just drag it down or to the side.
Okay, one second. I'm going out. Okay.
Maybe you can stop the PPT and restart again. You'll disappear, hopefully.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, here. How to clean that? I don't know what happened with that line. I can show you.
You can.
I can.
You can try again. Play your presentation.
No, it's not in my presentation. It's in the. No, I don't know what happened. No.
I take a picture, send you WhatsApp.
Still continue? Yeah, this is still there.
It's still there.
Continue. Yeah, still there. Yeah, here maybe. Okay. Okay.
Well,
Now? Yeah,
you
it's
can,
clear?
no, you
Okay,
can turn off the colors, the pencils.
turn off. Okay.
它应该是在它的 PPE 上面显示是没有显示那个铅笔盒啦，所以他不知道我们在讲什么。
哇，那这个是
Okay.
我建议叫他把 PowerPoint 把它全部关掉，再重开一次。
Hi, Santi. You can stop your share screen and try.
Santi, lo que te están diciendo, no sé si se me oye, Santi, lo que te están diciendo es que tienes una paleta de los pinceles de colores, como cuando montas una Keynote, y está todo el rato apareciendo en la pantalla abajo a la derecha.
Es que yo no lo veo. ¿Sabes? Creí que
ya, me da la sensación de que tú no lo ves, pero todo el rato en la presentación aparece, ¿sabes? Como cuando vas a cambiar color de algo, que aparece en los pinceles, que puedes elegir paleta de colores y demás, pues eso que aparece todo el rato tapando la pantalla a la derecha.
A ver, voy a ver si puedo. ¿Ahora?
Yeah, it's okay.
Perfect.
Perfect. It's
A mí
okay.
se me había llenado. Okay, now it's okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's okay. You can continue. Thanks.
I'm sorry.
Thanks a lot.
Sorry. Okay, continue. Okay, sometimes we're going to need to change the shapes, and I do that with 3D glaze. But in my opinion, the temperature of that recommended it is too high. The heat raise is too high. In my opinion, I change a little bit, and I do like this, only 20 degrees by minute. The heat raise is at 20. And the final sintering, it depends of your furnace, because not all the furnace going to do the same in the same temperature. I try to mean that to explain that if you put 720, maybe in your furnace is 710 or 715. In my furnace, the 730 is too high. I use 715 for the final restoration in 3D glaze for when I need to change the shape. And the heat raise I use no more than 20. I never use the fast sintering like in the third line, the fast sintering glaze F. I never use like that. When I need to make to use the glaze F, I use the first one line, you know, in 20 and 715. Maybe if the restoration of you have a lot of veneers or a lot of works in the furnace, you can increase a little bit, like 10 degrees or 15, no more, in a 720 or 725, something like that, you know. And ever we do a slow cooling ever. For the veneers is not so important, but I do ever, when I work with zirconium, I make heat raise, slow heat raise and slow cooling ever. And the final rest and the final temperature I'm going to put a little bit fewer than the final real temperature, because in my opinion is too high to control the texture, okay, of the shape. I can here I can show you is the same 3D to change the shape. In the left you can see the final firing in a 720, in a 730, sorry, and in the right you can see some texture with 715. Okay, 710, sorry, 710. 710 is a little bit few, maybe 750 is better. Okay. Another important thing is control the fluorescence of the final coloring, the final makeup. Not all the stains, not all the ceramic, like a biomic, have the same grade of fluorescence. We need to know which one is more fluorescent than other. Okay, the brown is a very few have a very few fluorescence. The commonly the white or the yellow. Of course, of course, the glaze is very high, have a very high fluorescence. But we need to understand how to use the final colors in the restoration. Okay. The glaze, of course, is very fluorescent. The 3D and the F, normal F, are very fluorescent. I love that glaze to change that one. The 3dB is to increase a little bit the value of the final restoration. If you don't need to use to increase the value, you can use the 3DN, the normal 3D. Is only translucent. Okay, nothing whitish in the 3DN, but both are have a very high fluorescence. Okay, of course the GAM never have fluorescence like this. Okay, in the palette I can show you. In the palette is the same. You can see the gray or the bluish have a fluorescence, but the white or the yellow have a high fluorescence, but the brown is not high fluorescence. The A shape, the A color, to increase to increase saturation in cervical area. Be careful because it's not high. They don't have a have a high fluorescence. Okay, be careful with the A color. You can see the palette over in that case A2 palette. Okay, when I apply the stains over the structure, we must change. I talked about that, the high saturation of the cervical area with the color maybe A or orange. The tone is like a B or 3D shape. Okay. Orange in the warm tone to make the mamelons or something like that, and the blue and the mouth in the incisal area. I love the mouth to increase the sensation of deep in the translucency in the incisal area. Be careful with the blue. The blue, in my opinion, is too high. It's too dark. I never use the pink, but some colors use the pink for recreate the sensation of translucency in the cervical area, but the translucency of the soft tissue in the cervical area, and to increase the sensation of deep in the interproximal area, I use the terracotta or orange. For making some details, white details, I use the white or ivory. I prefer the ivory. The brown, remember the brown is not fluorescence, have no fluorescence, and the white is so fluorescent. The orange, commonly the number one, I used to make to recreate the mamelons, and mix a little bit the orange with white. I recreate the sensation of the halo effect. And I talked to you about before. It's very important to know which color have in the bottom, in the structure, in the dye. We take the color in the mouth, and we can see which color we're going to choose for the final restoration. And I can see you. I can show you here. We have 4 veneers, and we make the makeup only external stains, only internal with bionic. We change a little bit the incisal edge and a little bit increase the deep sensation in the proximal area with brown or terracotta. In the incisal area, we work with the mauve. You can see here, everything is only mauve, no blue, only mauve, a little bit orange in the central area, and some details with white. The mamelons, I recreate the mamelons, mix a little bit orange number 1 with white number 1. The white number 1 is a color like a like ivory. Is not pure white, okay? It's like ivory. And if I mix a little bit with terracotta or terracotta is too dark. Maybe sometimes I use terracotta, but commonly I mix with the orange number 1 and see what happened under the UV light. You can see we cover all the restoration with glaze. The glaze is have a very high fluorescence, and you can see what happened in the incisal edge. The mauve is not too fluorescent. You can see in the middle of the mamelons, and the mamelons are very high fluorescence. Why? Because we use white. White is the most fluorescent, of the orange number, or with the orange number 1, mixed with the orange number 1, with a little bit part of orange. And you can see it's very, have a very high fluorescence. Okay, be careful. We need to understand which material we're going to use over the structure. Okay, place in the mouth, the final result. We need to control the shape with the 3D pass, but commonly I never use commonly, only stain. And be careful with the glaze. Not all the glaze work like I show you of the bionic glaze. Sometimes happen pictures like this. It's a fall. It's a mistake. Why? Because the zirconium is not fluorescent. They have no fluorescence. It have no fluorescence. But if we don't cover with high fluorescence glaze, we're going to obtain one result like this. It's a fall. It's a mistake. After that, only bind with fluorescence stain, and that's all. This is the final result again. We need to control the chroma, the value, and the hue. And the final control, we're going to make the final control with the stains, but we need to choose the first step with good election of the material. I talked to you before when we choose the material, we must think in the thickness and the color of the dye. Remember, okay? This is very important. After that, we can change some little things of the value of the chroma to increase the chroma, or to increase the value sensation of or increase the hue. But we need to start with a very exactly good election of the material. Okay, here I can show you. We control the value. It's very similar. I take one spot of the natural teeth, I put over my restoration and disappear. It's a good election of the value. And I show you the final result like this. Okay, remember, it's very important to choose correctly the structure the material of the kind of the disc, the material of the structure that going to mill. And after that, we need to correct some things with external stains, with ionic in that case. Okay. I use that palette to control the stains or the liquid ceramic over the A2 palette. Okay, now I'm going to show you 1 or 3 cases, and I'm going to talk about 2 or 3 tricks when we are nesting the structure in the disc. Okay. In my first case, when I use Ezneer, I'm scared in the milling machine. We're going to put a very thin structure. I mill that veneer in 0.5 or 0.4. I don't remember now. 0.5 or 0.4. I think in 0.4 are very thin, and I'm going to nest to put in the mill box. I use that software and mill in the machine, and I can show you here. I use 3 connectors. Okay, for me is a mistake. It's a fault. Why? I'm a little bit scared with the stability when the milling machine starts to mill. No, I think 3 points is better than 2. No, 2 is better. Why? Because when the milling machine finish, I take off the disc. I'm going to cut the connectors. When I cut, if you put 3, when you cut 1, there's still 2. Still remain 2, and the vibration of the bar broke the structure because I very thin, only 0.4. Okay. But if you put only 2 connectors, when you cut 1, the structure is have only 1, and the structure can absorb the vibrations. No, but if you have 2, the vibrations break the structure. Okay, be careful with that. I never put again 3, only 2 works better with 2. Okay, be careful with that. Here, 3 again is not a good idea. Only 2 is better. Okay, he's nesting. And after, it's not more things about the milling, because when you put the parameters, I try to mill 0.3, but in sometimes I need much. But in 0.4, the structure is also after that, I don't like to make the texture by hand, only by brush if I need it, or design before. But I don't feel comfortable when I make by hand because I'm very thin. Okay. Okay. When after the sintering, for me the main problem is how to say to the doctor here in Spain. I think in all the countries are the same. How to say to the doctor how to cement or how to connect, how to put in the mouth of the patient, because the zirconium, all the clinicians says that the zirconium don't have good adhesion with enamel of the patient. Of course, you don't have it. You need to cement like a crown, but is a good idea in a veneer. That material, the Bionic Laser Connect, is a very simple idea and works very well. We only need to spray in the internal area, and the doctor use the same protocol to make the adhesion of the lithium disilicate. It's the same. It's the same. Very simple. Only one bake. I right in the internal area of the veneer. I make one bake, only one bake, and after that I make the external stains. That's all. I send to the clinic like a normal veneer of lithium disilicate. Okay, and the adhesion protocol is the same like a lithium disilicate, and works very well. I use that sintering program in the first line. Okay, like for me is lithium disilicate sintering. In a final, I put in a final attempt in 890 degrees and no more than 20 degrees by minute, the heat rays. Commonly, when we put some lithium disilicate in the furnace to make the sintering process, we use 80 or more degrees by minute. The heat rate we can use 80 or 90 degrees. For the zirconium is not a good idea because it's possible to create some cracks, internal cracks, because the zirconium don't need slow heat rays and slow cooling ever. It's very important. Okay, this is the same work that I show you, that I mill. This is my third case. My third case is in the model. Only external stains, stained with liquid ceramic, biomic liquid ceramic. When the zirconium touched the soft tissue, I polish very gently. This is my polish set. It's not important which set we use. I did have a very good one. I use sometimes. It's very good because have very simple by controlled by colors. The hardness is the green one, and the softness is the yellow one. I polish all the contour of the veneer that are in contact of the soft tissue, because I prefer the contact of the zirconia with the soft tissue of the patient than the glaze material. Okay. Be careful too with the sandblasting. I never use I never sandblast my structure. Sometimes I use the sandblast, but commonly I use the liquid number 2, because if you wet all the surface with liquid number 2, the liquid number 2 of the biomic we use that liquid for increase the wet the 3D that passed the 3D wet to the 3D pass. But if you apply the number 2 over the structure before apply the biomic stains, the biomic liquid ceramic, works very well. Be careful with the sandblasting, because sometimes if you don't polish very well, the structure is going to be like the second photo, like I show you. It's like a sandpaper, you know. We need the fourth one, like a mirror, very polished. Okay, and place the veneers in the mouth of the patient. The final result. Okay, it's very natural, very simple. Okay, there's another case. Within the mouth of the patient, you can see the mouth in the incisal edge. You can see the increases, the sensation, the deep sensation between the teeth with orange or A shape. It depends on the color. The B1 or B2, I use, of course, the B shape. But here in that restoration, I use A to the A shape to increase the sensation of tip in the between the pieces and mouth in the incisal edge, and place in the mouth. Fine again. Very natural, very simple, very simple. Remember, to obtain a good result, to the final result, we need to choose the base very well controlling the color with the photos of the dye and control the thickness of the structure. That's all. Very simple. That's all. And after that, we control the value and the shape with the external stains. Okay. Okay. Thank you for your attention. That's all. It's very simple, and I have more than 10 cases now put in the mouth. I start with that material 3 or 4 months ago. The lithium desilicating spray is the key for the cementation, and the color, remember, the key is control the dye and control the thickness. Okay. Thank you so much for your attention. Lole, are you there?
Can you hear me? Thank you. Can you hear me? It's okay.
Yes. Hi. How are you?
Any other questions? If you have any questions, you can open your microphone, communicate with Santiago.
Okay.
Thank you. This was a really good presentation. Could you please quickly tell us again about the color matching guideline? It went fast, really fast. So is the first row where we see bleach, A1, A2, and so on, is that the tooth in the patient's mouth, or is that what we want to get?
Okay, you can see here in the picture, the color of the dye sometimes is like a whitish, like a bleach. No, but if you need to obtain a bleach one, if you have maybe A2 or A3, like in that square in the left side, in the left side, you can see A2 maybe, and you need to obtain bleach 4. Okay, you need to work with a high value disc in a 0.4 or 0.6. Okay. The main thing is how to know the color of the dye, and after that, after you know the color of the dye, you can choose the color of the disc. In that case, if you need to obtain a bleach for when 8 dye, you need to choose 8 high value disc. Okay.
Thank you very much.
You.
Thank
Any
you.
other?
You're welcome.
If you have any questions, you can leave your message on Aidite official Facebook or Aidite website. Okay, today is finished. Thank you, Santiago. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye,
you.
Lei.
Bye. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
They're destined.